Hi, Dr. Smith. This is my millionth time recording this because my brother keeps interrupting me, but this is Eve Moen, and I'm in 5th hour, and this is my Quail Creek Bank makeup assignment. So, in this presentation, I'm going to be talking about how banks work and like kind of the behind the scenes, which includes 5 different departments that I researched. Safety deposit boxes, what FDIC insurance means, and the important roles that help run a bank smoothly. So, the first department that I researched was the loan department. The loan department handles lending money to individuals and or businesses. They review credit scores and financial history before approving the loans, and they offer different types of loans such as personal, auto, mortgage, and business. And the amount of money that is loaned depends on what kind, because obviously a mortgage is going to be a little bit more than an auto loan. Sorry. They also help customers understand interest rates and repayment plans and like kind of how they're going to have to part with their money or like make money, and just understand that the customer knows what they're paying. So the next department that I researched was one that I didn't think a bank would have, which is a customer service department, because I kind of just thought that these departments were kind of just in retail because, I don't know, I associated customer service with stores and clothing and stuff like that. But after further research, I was proven wrong. So the description of the customer service department is that they assist with account inquiries, issues, and new account openings. And some facts that I found were that they help replace customers' lost or stolen debit cards, and then they manage account maintenances like addresses or name changes, or really any changes to any information in the account. And they answer questions about online banking or mobile apps. And on top of that last fact, I found that the majority of the people who use the customer service department is the elderly, because the younger generations, they kind of just use AI or they use the Google and the web if they have any like problems, and a lot of their problems are a lot of their banking or banks are online, and so they're really easy to use. But the in-person banks see a lot of the elderly at customer service because the elderly trust real people. So then the next department that I researched was similar to the customer service department, was the marketing department, which is another department that I just didn't think a bank would need, because I didn't understand why a bank would be wanting to like market towards anything. I don't know. But now I know that the marketing department promotes the bank's products and builds its brand. They create advertisements for loans, savings accounts, and promotions. They use social media and community events to attract customers, and they conduct surveys to understand customers' needs. And the marketing department is also one of the most competitive departments between other banks at a bank, because it's constantly needing to change its tactics or ability on how they get customers over other banks. And so it's one of the most competitive between other banks because of that reason. Okay, the next department that I researched was the accounting department. The accounting department is pretty simple. It just keeps track of all the bank's financial transactions, so arguably the most important department in a bank. They ensure that there are accurate records of income, expenses, and profits of all things within the bank. They prepare reports for bank management and auditors, and they monitor for irregularities or errors in the financial data. So really just making sure that everything that goes in and out is correct and smooth. The next department I researched was the IT department. And so the IT department, IT stands for information technology. So the IT department manages the bank's technology and security systems. And the facts that I found here are that they sorry, they maintain online banking and mobile app services. They protect customer data from hackers and cyber threats, and they update software to keep the bank's systems secure. Okay, so that was my last department that I had researched. And so next I'm going to be talking about safety deposit boxes. So safety deposit box is a secure locked box inside of a bank's overall vault, which is used to store valuables such as jewelry, documents, or small heirlooms. And so you can rent one at your bank. If you visit your bank and ask for their availability, if there's one available, you'll have to bring your identification and sign a rental agreement. And then once you have the box, you have to pay an annual fee for the box, and then you can just use it however you want. So an example that I found of a local bank was the First National Bank in Oklahoma. The cost of the box was $40 a year for a small box or $100 a year for a large box. Okay, and then FDIC insurance, it is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. This is used by banks in the U.S. that are insured by the FDIC. It means that your money is protected. It proctors your deposit if the bank fails. And so if the bank fails, your deposit is insured up to $250,000 per person. And it covers checking, savings, money market, and CD accounts. And that's the logo there to the right of it. Okay, the compliance department ensures that the bank follows all laws and regulations. An example of the rules are that it prevents money laundering and fraud by monitoring transactions and making sure advertisements and products meet legal requirements. Basically, the compliance keeps the bank honest and helps protect both the customers and the institution. So tellers are kind of go hand in hand with customer service in my mind. They do a little bit more of a specific job to the bank, but so tellers are the frontline employees who handle daily transactions with the customers. So whenever you go talk to a teller, there are a couple of things you can do. A couple of examples are that you can deposit or withdraw money from your account through a teller, or you can cash a check or get a money order. So you can take and you can put in money through a teller. So basically, the summary of my presentation is that banks are made up of many different departments that all serve a specific purpose. From IT and accounting to customer service and compliance, and then safety deposit boxes and FDIC insurance protects your valuables and money. And then compliance and tellers play vital roles in keeping banks safe and efficient. And then this is my main 3 sources that I used. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the FDIC, and the American Bankers Association.